Good evening, everyone. Here's another edition of Live and Direct. My name is Brian, the host. Here on the panel, I'm very fortunate and lucky to have a beautiful young lady by the name of Natalie Grace Alford. Please give her a warm, live and direct welcoming. All right, Natalie.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
I'm doing okay. I had a big drive out from Des Plaines today. I never make it. I usually only go to the west side, so it's nice though coming out to the south side because my mom grew up around here. So
No.
It's nice to see some of the neighbors.
Speaking of Des Plaines, you guys got a little water out there. How was that for you?
Well, it was horrible.
Terrible.
Well, my sister woke up and then she sent me this picture of just an entire sea in front of her.
Unbelievable.
On her street. So, but it's okay. You know, it just smelled like fish for a couple
for a whole long
so,
time, huh? Things are kind of clearing up a little bit, though.
Yeah, it's clear now. It's just around one area like Alton River, but it's not that big. Not that big. Yeah.
Well, since we're talking demographically here, okay, in areas where you live, a little birdie told me that you are a master singer.
Yeah.
Really?
I hope so.
You have the voice for it, I can tell.
Yeah, well.
Very flamboyant.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been singing. That was one of the first things I knew I was really good at. When I was a kid, I just noticed that I could just be louder than everybody. And
that always helps.
Well, it also was awful because, then it was like, oh, she's loud, let's kick her. And I didn't really have that many friends, I was picked on. But then one of the things that I could never get touched on was when I sang. And I remember when I was 5 and singing to the radio, and I was singing every note. I remember consciously thinking, oh my God, I can do this, and I want to do it. So when I was about 11, my mom heard about a children's choir, and luckily my grandparents, I was fortunate enough to have my grandparents to support me to do that, and my grandmother drove me twice a week out to, it was Ubalate Children's Choir, and it was there that I got the basis of my vocal training, and I got to, go from not knowing anything about music to singing in 5 different languages, and we sang in the Joffrey Nutcracker Ballet,
Interesting.
We toured London and Paris, and it was difficult. I was only in the choir for 3 years, but it was difficult, but it was also just great training, and I got to work with Dr. Rollo Dilworth. He's one of the most renowned composers and choir directors in the country. And I didn't even know it at the time.
You didn't know it?
I just thought he was this cool looking
just
guy
cool, good
with a
guy,
bow tie
yeah,
and glasses, and he was just this proud black man who talked eloquently. And I was just so fascinated with it.
Now, by you not knowing who he was there a little intimidation there at all, or did he make you feel comfortable at home?
Well, one of the things is when you're in that strict choir environment, it's not some they were great with kids. But they also expected this professional standard. That was one of the things they said is if you're sitting, they need to be able to take a pole a pole that would go all the way to the back and it wouldn't touch your back because it's
sit
proper
properly
and nice and always ready to go and ready to stand up and
So that's the explanation of your great posture then.
Yes. Well, and also my mom was a dance teacher too.
Wow, so you just come from this background of singers and dancers.
Yes.
What about your dad?
My father, I don't know much about my father.
Okay.
When I was because I would say made in New York, bred in Chicago, because my mom divorced my dad when I was 1, so I didn't find out anything about my father's side till recently, and I still put bits and pieces.
Sure.
So I know that my father plays the congas, because he's a Puerto Rican Cherokee, and he likes to play the congas, and
Ah, I heard a little accent
the
come in
congas.
there. That's how you got to say it when you say it, huh? The congas, huh? All right,
I would
okay.
Puerto Rican card if I didn't. But I know about that. But and then if I go even further from what I heard from my aunt, my grandfather, who he was a general a general of the colored infantry in the Korean War.
Oh, wow.
And apparently could speak 3 languages.
Oh, wow.
Didn't know about that. But he wanted to be a jazz musician, but then he ended up, just getting another.
So
when you
music.
get back on the board, yeah.
So music is in your veins
I think
from mom and dad, regardless.
Yeah, mom and dad, and
Wow.
we have a lot of performers in the family, and it's like pretty much I'm one of the last ones like who has been doing it as a job, as you know.
Now I gotta ask you though, with this distinguished posture and this distinguished voice.
Right now, because there's a camera.
Okay. All right. I gotta ask you. Your music is just as elegant as you are. Of course, it has to be. How do you feel about the music today? All the different genres of music. What do you have another favorite? Are you in the jazz? Are you in the blues? You like rap, R&B, rock and roll? Are you into everything, or do you specifically stick to what you were bred into?
Well, for me, all the classical training, part of it is, I love the classical, but one of the things that got me into, singing more pop or more indie was that it spoke more, one, to me, and I find that it speaks more to people. Now, with that being said, I like good music,
Great answer.
especially good
Great
music,
answer.
and I love blues, I love jazz, I love country when it's good, but when people try to argue with me about the text that writes the song, it's like if you go to a place that makes bad food, I was like, well, at least they cooked it. No, and so it's like my answer that I say, because then if I start going into what I like, and I find when I talk about oh, don't you like Tim Fightin, and everybody looks at me like. So I just say I like indie. So if there was anything that maybe I would say is I like just good music.
Wow, great answer. Round of applause, please, people. Something else that I know about you, Natalie. Pull a little trick out of my bag here. Oxford.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
The type of shoe I'm wearing. One of the things, part of the classical music thing, so I have to go into what it's like studying music, and what it's like also being somebody who sings more soulful. And that was a big thing that I had to confront when I went to Carthage, because I got this scholarship where it's like, oh, you're Black Sarika Cherokee, we will pay you to come here, please.
Sure.
And and I worked my butt off. I graduated. I was always kind of good at school, not with the subjects I didn't like, but I could just write essays, and it was just get B's. So I got into Carthage, and then I was confronted with a bunch of divas who were the stars of their high school musical, but they weren't as good, and I had a soulful voice, and it was not a fun time, because you always have jealous people who are jealous of it, and
and then not being from there didn't help.
Oh yeah, not being from there, and pretty much every day, I get a question of what are you? What are you?
Can't figure you out.
Yeah, and so that being said, I was like, I have to get out of here, because it would get to the point where it was just uncomfortable going to voice lessons and singing for a room of people who just give you the death ray. And so I was like, I need to figure out something. I need to travel. So they had this study abroad at Oxford thing, and I just applied on a whim, because I had always wanted to go there, and when I toured in London and Paris, with the children's choir, I was like, I'm coming back here. So I wasn't accepted. I went through like 3 rounds of interviews, and then they put me on the wait list. And I was like, oh my God, I'm stupid, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, sure.
Then 2 weeks later, they send me a thing. It's like, no, you can go. You're in. And so I got to study democratization in Latin America and Western European politics.
Congratulations. Well, Natalie, we're gonna wrap it up here, and I figure I could sit here for another 30 minutes, even hours with you. You're very intriguing, and I'm sure in the future you have a lot going on. So with that saying, my fans, the viewers, my audience would like to support you. So you can leave your email address, your phone number, whatever address they can contact with you. Anything that's coming up that you're going to be involved in, we want to help you. So let us know.
All right. Well, I actually do have a couple things coming up. Well, you can find me, Natalie Grace Alford, Facebook, Google, YouTube. Just look up the name. And also, I'm currently playing under the Boombox Space. That's the new guys that I guess I'm going under. So there's a Facebook link on there too. All the links for those. So yeah, just Natalie Grace Alford is the best way, because my email, it gets so junked up, and it's just all for Facebook things. So anyway, so that's that.
With that saying, everybody, please support Natalie and anything that she's doing. Go out and check her out, listen to her, because as you hear the voice, she sounds lovely. So let's imagine her singing. And speaking of, we got to get you back and have you sing. Here on my panel, I have very nice people here that are some actors, and they're going to educate us on exactly what the business is about, what they are up to, and I want you guys to give them a round, warm, live and direct welcome. Give them a round. Shanice and Lawrence.
Yes.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
How you guys doing this evening?
Wonderful.
Yeah, pretty good?
Yes.
Pretty good night?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, good. Well, I'm glad to have you guys, man. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Hey,
Thank you.
no, not a problem, not a problem. We piggyback off each other and help each other out. Well, speaking of it, I did say actor and actress. We have some type of connection here. Earlier, I was talking to my producer, and they were saying that you worked with a gentleman by the name of Mr. Gerald Hall, director. We had him on the show a while back. Tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing with Mr. Hall and how's that's going and what you guys are up to.
You want to start off?
Go ahead.
Okay.
That was quick.
Well, basically, like you said, we're working with Gerald right now for BA Blessing Productions. And right now we're doing a play called The First Lady. And that's touring, across the Chicagoland area. So, and pretty much with that, what that show is about, it's about the church lifestyle, what goes on in the church. Also with like a twist of a love story, Cinderella, urban Cinderella type story. And it's really good. It shows what you don't see when you go to a church, like on a regular basis, what go on behind the scenes, with the congregation. What's really happening, the things that they don't talk about in church, or doing devotion, or stuff like that. So it's a really good show.
Now, you guys, of course, actor and actress, you guys have predominant roles, of course, that's in the play. Let's talk about your characters. Are there any similarities to the Lawrence and Shanice? And if not, how did you tap into the characters? What made you say, hey, you know what, I can do this. I can play this person. I can play this girl. I can play this guy.
Well, I'm gonna let you start that one.
Yeah, she just on this one.
You said similarities, so this.
Okay. Let's talk about that.
Okay. My particular character, her name is Valerie Pierce.
Okay.
She's a prostitute.
Okay.
She is, she's very naive, but it kind of works out for her because she learns a lot. And the main character of the play is Angelica Cole, which happens to be her best friend. And she teaches her a lot, you know, in the street, and especially when they become members of the church, then she learns a lot from her. As far as similarities, no, she's a prostitute.
So, not your forte. So I take your acting skills are excellent.
Yeah.
Very believable.
Okay, well, what about you, man?
But me, my character, I'm portraying a deacon.
Okay.
So yeah, and my father, he's like, he's a character. So literally, he's a character, and
Don't forget now, he might be watching.
right, I know.
Watch what you say.
But it's basically it's kind of similarities because he's trying to be straightforward and be on the right path. So it's kind of similar right there. I mean, but it's basically I'm trying to tap into different stuff that normally I wouldn't do just to get a good grasp on the character.
Sure.
Right, because basically the whole thing of like one of the elements of acting is like you're playing the character, but you really need to become the character.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right, so just so when people can see it, like wow, just when they come see you like outside or whatever, hey, man, you so different than when I see you. Like that's what you want, because it's like okay, that's when you see me on there, that's who I am. I'm not acting as nobody. That's who I am. Until it's over with, and then you see Lawrence.
So let me ask you that, guys. Do you sometimes get people to misconcept who you are?
All the time.
How does that make you feel?
All the time.
How does that make you feel? I mean, as a person, I mean, you're a professional, right? Correct? Let's get that out of the way. You're a professional, so you have to carry yourself in a professional manner at all times, correct?
And that's the thing, with having a regular job, you have to be professional from 9 to 5.
Sure.
When you're an actress or an actor, you have to be professional all the time. You're gonna have fans.
Sure.
So they're gonna see. It's just like Danny Glover in The Color Purple. Every time you see him, you're gonna see Mister. So you're gonna be mad, and, but yeah. Right. So that's just, you gotta have that mindset like, okay, they see me this way. I'm not that person, but, of course, that's the only way they know me.
How do you get past that? How do you get over that? Does it aggravate you sometimes? Does it bother you sometimes? Have you had people that come up to you, let's say right before you're about to go on stage and perform, and they have a misconception of who you are because of who you were on stage? Does that affect you?
Well, well, in my case, I mean, it's kind of different. Sometimes I feel like I'm at a standstill with it because you see fans, or they come and see the show and then hey, you played this guy, played that guy, or this is how you really are, but it really don't bother me as much. But just when you out there trying to gain work and more opportunity, like in different productions and stuff, and then you don't want to get the label being typecasted.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's like when you go around, like, okay, not my first production, but when I got back into acting a couple years ago, I was portraying a guy he was pretty much a woman beater.
Wow.
So I mean, there's nothing wrong. I mean, it's wrong, but in the essence of acting, okay,
that's what you play. That doesn't mean that's who you are.
Right, I'll give it a shot, but you don't want to like keep continuing to, play those type of roles or whatever. It's just, you want to have like more to you. Right. Why can't, if I want to be this, or if I'm a big time drug dealer, why can't I be a lawyer or a doctor?
So in other words, guys,
Right.
you want to make yourself versatile. You definitely don't want to get pigeonholed.
Right.
But at the same time, you must maintain professionalism and be focused, correct?
Right.
That's a round of applause. I want to ask you something, and we're going to wait till after the break to hear your response, and we'll let it marinate a little bit. But earlier we were talking about each individual character, all right? And we were, having some fun with it and joking, your character being a prostitute, of course, that's not you, so that shows your capabilities, and it also, to me, shows your range of what you can do, and the same with you. All right, but you did say there were some similarities because of your dad, you were being nice because he might be watching.
Right.
But I want you to think about this. What background do you have in church? Did you go to church at all? Did you have any type of special religion beliefs? Did anything from your home bring you? How your parents brought you up? When you were on stage, you had that moment where you were like, wow, I remember this. Think about that when we come back. I want you guys to answer that. This is Brian giving it to you live and direct. We'll be back in a bit, guys. Welcome back. This is Brian with Live and Direct, and I'm still sitting here with Shanice and Lawrence. And while we were on break, I got a little secret information. And that information is not only are you guys colleagues and actor and actress and working with the same director in the same play, but from what I hear, we have a date in March of 29th that is very important to you guys. I hear you guys getting married.
Yes, we are.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I think marriage is a beautiful thing. And for one reason, not only does it bring two people together, but it brings two families together. And it makes it one. And I think that is an awesome thing. So good luck to you guys, and I wish you guys the best of luck. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you.
Now let's talk about that in the work world. Let's talk about that. When you guys, go into your play or you're going to rehearsal,
Right.
and you guys probably live together, I'm sure, and
Right.
travel together, work together, play together.
Well, basically,
Whoever wants to answer. Whoever wants to answer.
Does it get just a little tad bit monotonous? And if so, what do you guys do to deal with that?
well, see, basically, excuse me, with us, the way I like to see it is that it's a good thing, and we have the same passion, and we're in the same profession as far as doing the acting thing, and also it's not weird. Some people be like, because I get it all the time. Like, is that weird working with? How do you do that? Be so many women around, but I'm not worried about them. I'm there to do my job, doing what I love to do, that's being an actor. And to me, it's a plus that she's there with me because we like doing the same thing.
And she have your back
Right,
and
and she
moral
has my
support.
back, right. And then it's like we're both silly. We like to be silly and goofy. So I mean, we just sit there and just enjoy each other's company. So it's just a lot of fun.
Basically, we don't mix business and pleasure
Right.
at all.
What do you mean?
The business is the pleasure.
Yeah.
Hey, you caught you one.
He's kind of quick on his toes.
Good answer, Lord. Well, guys, with that said, all right, you guys, lovely ring, by the way.
Thank
And
you.
you guys getting ready to go ahead and jump over the broom,
Yeah.
and you guys are working together, you're traveling together, you're acting together. Do you guys give each other advice and critique each other? Do you say, well, honey, you could have did that a little bit better, or, hey, Lauren, babe, you should have maybe said this line that way? And in other words, constructive criticism, I'm sorry, is that honored between you two, or do you kind of look at him while he's sleeping like, ooh, I want to...
Man, I'm gonna choke him for telling me that. I know I said that line right.
How does it work?
We tell each other.
We had one incident where
Do tell.
he asked me, it was
No, just okay, go ahead.
it was a part where I had to seduce a guy in like kind of a dance. So I had to like fall on him and basically seduce him, rub on him and stuff.
Okay.
And I wasn't comfortable with it. So he locked in with me. He said, "Why you acting like you don't know how to do that part?" I said, "I don't."
That's why I say. That's why it's like with us it's different because we're actually together. Right. So you would think that from the outside, people from the outside, and I don't want to really say understand the business, but sure. People from the outside, they're just looking in, they'd be furious. But I'm sitting there, I'm like, no, you need to put your butt on. to
what you do,
do. Right, because like, in this one, the play we're doing now, First Lady, the play that we're working on right now, you know, I'm not really love interest, but someone who I have my eye on, you know, it's not her. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's just one of those things, you know, because it's a business, you know, you have to be professional and everything. So we know at the end of the day, like also at the beginning of the day, you know, we come in together, we meet together, and this is what, you know, this is what we do. It's a business.
And again, you are acting.
Right, exactly. That's
Exactly.
the main thing.
And that is what you're doing. When you're on stage, you are who you are, and when you're away from that stage, you are who you are.
Exactly.
I think that's amazing, guys.
Yeah.
Round of applause, please. Well, guys, let's talk a little bit more about Mr. Hall. By the way, too, he was unbelievable when you were here.
He's
Really,
an amazing guy.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
absolutely
It's
amazing.
really a blessing.
Oh my goodness, man! He's very educated. He's very smart. Just the way he was speaking, you know, you can tell it was coming from his heart.
Right.
You know, and you know, he grew up in Ragtown. I do remember that. He talked about that and his upbringing, and he talked about his music. Let's talk a little bit about Mr. Hall as a director and as a person and as a friend and as a mentor. Shanice, tell us a little bit about him.
Gerald is, he's wonderful. The thing that attracted me to him the most, my church is Life Teaching Center. So one of the main things we focus on is teaching.
Okay.
When he saw me in the show, he came to me, he said, you know, I want you to play this part. Of course, I'm used to getting typecasted as comedic roles.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
Would have never known that. You're not funny at all.
So he came to me, he said, because he saw me in the show where I cried. So he said, I want you to play this part. You know, it's something funny, but I want you to hit the parts where, you know, it's more emotional.
Exactly.
And so he was, you know, teaching me, and of course, everything he does, his inspiration comes from God, of course.
Okay.
So it was like a ministry, and he just, you know, taught me how to tap into, because when you get typecasted, you get kind of used to doing, like I'm used to doing comedic roles.
The pigeonhole you.
Right.
I got you.
So he taught me, you know, how to tap into my other roles.
Did you find that difficult?
No, not really, no. Because, you know, I knew that I always had it, I never could use it.
And he helped you bring that out.
Exactly.
That's what makes him a great director.
Exactly, yes. It's beyond words, I can't even say. He's really a blessing. Be a
Wow.
blessing.
Wow.
He really a blessing.
Round of applause. Well, guys, with that saying, before we got to get out of here, I want you guys to do me a favor. All right? I want to come and see you guys because you guys just performed for me right here, and I feel like I need more of Shanice and Lawrence. All right? I want to see you guys, so I'm sure my viewers and my audience as well would like to see you. So just blur it out. Let us know what's going on with you guys and where you're going to be at and what you're performing in and what's the dates and how they can contact you and email address, phone numbers, whatever you want to leave. You have the floor.
Well, can I just say this right fast? Sure. You know, we try to like reach out to people because it's, you know, as far as these plays go, it's also, you know, it's entertaining, but it's also inspiration, and we trying to inspire people to do more. Because basically, what's happening now with Chicago, with, you know, killings and everything like that, and we just trying to bring, you know, positive stuff back to people. And it's like we trying to get people to understand, you know, to come on out and, you know, to see the play. Just
support.
Right,
Yeah.
Support. It's just not only supporting us per se, but just, you know, supporting each other. You know, coming on out, you know, because we trying to get this thing established. That's why we're with this Be a Blessing Productions. We're just trying to get it established that people, you know, come on out and just say, hey, Chicago is not only known for killing, it's also known for people doing this or having positive outlooks on it, influencing, you know, other people to try to guide them into the right direction. That's all we really much just trying to do when we do these plays. We're just trying to teach people in like a comedic form, you know, some kind of way,
Some kind of form
right,
they need to come
right, that they can
back
tap into.
you guys.
Right, because it throws people off when they say, oh, well, you know, it's a Christian play. They're Christian, oh, well, you know, I don't really know about that. But it's so much more than that.
So regardless to what it is, people, you just heard the words from our people here on the panel, Mr. Lawrence here, and Mrs. Shanice. You heard what they said. Support them, guys. Coming out. The name of the play, guys, real quick.
The First Lady.
The First Lady, guys. Support
You
them,
can find
please.
us on Facebook.
Facebook, look them up, guys. This is Brian giving it
Please.
to you live and direct. We'll see you guys in a bit. Take care.
All right.
Thank you.
This is Live and Direct. I'm Brian, the host. And next on our panel here, I have a gentleman here by the name of Noel and a very beautiful young lady by the name of Christina. Please give them a round of applause. Well, guys, good evening.
Good evening.
How you guys doing?
Very well, yourself.
I'm doing just fine, thank you, thank you. Long night so far. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you guys are here and are ready to share your story with us because the information that I did read up on you guys are very intriguing. And with that saying, I do know you guys are CEOs and founders of your organization, and you guys' organizations are doing wonderful things and marvelous things throughout the community. And I just would like you to explain to my viewers and my audience what exactly it is that you guys do.
Let's start with E3. Empower Q Business Development Fund is a small business accelerator. Essentially what we do is we find people who want to start businesses in communities around Chicagoland which are considered extremely impoverished. And then we give them trainings on how to develop business plans, we help them get financing, and then we also teach them exactly how to make the organizations last through economic troubles.
Oh wow, that's very interesting. So you actually then bring in, is it a certain group of people? Is it an age limit? Is it for men and women? Is it a certain area that you train them for? Or is it just pretty much open?
It's pretty much open. We actually will start intake in September.
Oh wow.
So that is our launch date, September 15th. Yeah. So it's pretty much open to anybody who wants to kind of get in. It's not any sex or whatever. It's just people.
Pretty much.
There will
open,
be
so-
I guess a filtering process, you can say. Anybody can't just come and say, well, I want to start a business. So,
That's
you have to have some type of prototype for us to work with. You have to have some type of business plan or things that shows us that you have been making active steps to start it yourself, but you just don't have the tools to do it, and that's when we step in. So we're not going to develop anything for you. All that we're going to do is show you how to get the tools that you need to start your business and to sustain your business properly. So that's what we'll do.
No, so if, let's just say
Okay.
okay, I come up with this idea, an invention or something, some type of product, and I come to you guys' organization and say, hey guys, this is what I have, Christine, this is what I have, what will be my next step? What do we do from there? Do you guys make the judgment from there and say, hey, this is something that can work or it can't work? I mean, how does that work out?
Well, we review your business plan based on like a feasibility analysis, determine the proper potential for your business and the potential areas where we're focusing. We're focusing on those environments which are economically disadvantaged,
Sure.
such as like West Pullman, Inglewood, Roseland, 87th, 89th commercial. So
So that neighborhood.
Exactly.
Alright, so
That's
we want to
awesome.
make sure that if you have a business plan, we want to make sure that it's conducive to actually making money in those environments. If that is true, then we go to the next stage of financing and enroll you in the Sustainability Institute.
Now that was my next question. As we all know, finance is very, very important. With that said, how does that work out? Are you guys funding this out of your personal bank accounts, or are you guys getting some type of help to help out?
I wish.
That would be so much easier.
I wish my bank account was there. No, but we are actually going to be certified as a small business development center.
Okay.
And with that comes along with revolving loan funds from the federal government.
Sure.
It is designated for small business creation within communities that are considered extremely impoverished.
Wow,
And
that is an
that's,
awesome
and yeah,
thing.
that's the overall goal, to try to help to build the small business sector in these impoverished areas, because if you've been in these areas, you see there aren't many small businesses left, and that's how communities thrive, off of small businesses, and I mean businesses in general. So if you don't have these small businesses, which in those areas we don't, and they are impoverished, that's what our goal is, to help to rebuild that small business sector, so that those areas can start to flourish again and not be, you know, in the state that they're in right now.
Wow, that's definitely a good thing. Well, guys, let me go right into this. What about businesses that, you know, got hit with the economy? Businesses that were up and running, that were trying to do what it is that you guys are trying to accomplish, but they're just not making it. Do you help those people as well?
Yes, we do. We have, the organization is called Empower Cube for a reason. We have a threefold strategy. We focus on create, sustain, and grow. With the grow element of our focus, we are working with people who have businesses in those environments. But because of the recent global financial crisis, you have some issues.
Exactly.
Business is not doing as well. I want to help you come in and understand different techniques with marketing or administration or finances or just human resources, the appropriate way to make that business profitable or, you know, grow it again. And then also coming in with financing to help them achieve those goals, and then coming back in with the Sustainability Institute so they understand how to avoid that happening again.
Wow, that's great. Now, guys, I think what you're doing is just a marvelous thing. I mean, because that's something we definitely need. I mean, it's, and not just in our community, but in our country.
Absolutely.
Period. We're suffering really bad, and Chicago being one of the main ones. And I have no idea what the future holds for us and where we're going economically. But I think if we get more people like you guys or what you're doing, I see definitely us prospering and going forward in life. And I really commend you guys, and I thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
And I want to get a little bit more into depth with your team. I'm sure you guys can't save the world by yourselves. I'm sure you guys have an awesome team behind you, and I just would like to know the team you have behind you. What's your expectations of this team, and what exactly are their roles? I know you have probably bankers, financial advisors, business planners, all different type of things. And if so, just tell us a little bit about that and those people.
Well, most of our programming is based off of partnerships. With that being said, like we have for people who have the business plan,
Sure.
We have partnerships with organizations like Chamber of Commerce and SCORE. Which will help them understand, you know, how to build those business plans, what makes that business plan profitable, understanding what is the market data for that area, and then comparing that as far as feasibility analysis. With financing, the goal is, especially working with people from these different environments that are not credit worthy, is helping them understand exactly what they need to do in order to get traditional financing. So right now we're developing partnerships with local banks to do a grading system for people who have, you know, they come through, okay, they go through the channels of our first partners to create a business plan.
Sure.
And then, you know, now, okay, they're ready to start the business, they need financing. Our goal is to say, we're going to give you that introductory capital, but then after 2 years, we want you ready to get traditional financing so we can carry you through for the next couple of years.
Wow, that's awesome. That sounds like a massive plan. I mean, and again, I commend you guys. This is an awesome thing that you guys are doing. And with that saying, we're gonna go to break, and then when we come back, I'm gonna finish picking you guys' brains a little bit more. All right? And we're gonna get into a little bit more detail. Guys, this is Brian with Live and Direct with Christina and Noel. We'll be back in a bit. We're back here. I'm Brian, the host, with Live and Direct, and we still have on the panel these awesome guys that are changing the world literally overnight, Noel and Christina. Guys, welcome back. All right, Christina, this question is specifically for you.
Specifically, okay.
All right, and this is why. As a woman, all right, and I read your bio, very intriguing, very educated, one heck of a background.
Thank you.
When you find yourself going through this, dealing with the community and dealing with people coming up with ideas for businesses, do you find it harder for women?
To be quite honest with you, women seem to be a lot more mentally organized than men.
I agree.
So I don't know if it's necessarily harder for women. Women seem to be a lot more, and I'm not speaking, illy on men or anything, but I mean,
No, it's a fact.
It's a fact. Women seem to be more driven and motivated than women are currently. So it's not harder at all to work with women. I am pleased with working with women. I love to see women who are stepping out and trying to start their own businesses. It's a wonderful thing to see because the small business sector is mostly men. It's male dominated. But to see women starting to step out and start their own businesses is wonderful, and we support that 100%.
I definitely
Yes.
call that. That was the reason why I asked you that. And now my question for you, read your bio. Very intriguing. Very smart, man.
Thank you.
Got one heck of a background. College degree. Did your thing, man. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
My question to you, do you find it for us black men in the community to come up with an idea, to approach you, to have something that's concrete, that's something that's going to benefit the community and benefit themselves? Do you find it difficult for men to have that drive? And if so, what do you do about that to help them a little bit more, to give them that boost?
In reference to whether I find it more difficult for black men, I wouldn't say there's more difficult. I'm a staunch believer in the African Americans have an innate ability to have creativity that is untapped. Only thing you need to be is directed in the right way. With that being said, it's very common for me to hear African American men talking about business ideas, but not understanding how to execute them.
Exactly.
They want to say, oh, I want to save my community, or I want to open up a store, or I want to do this, but they don't understand those steps of how to do it. So I wouldn't say that it's more difficult. It's just, they just don't have the understanding of the resources they need to. And that may be systemic, or it just may be a fact that those resources aren't available to them because of background, environment, things like that.
Sure. Now, with that saying, like you were saying earlier, both of you, it's really hit our community really hard. A lot of the local businesses just closed down. A lot of them was there for years. I mean, I know a couple of stores in my neighborhood that was there when I was a little boy. I'm an old man now, and they're not there anymore. And what happened to those people? And what was the reason for them not making it? And what do we need to do as a whole, as a community, to help prevent that and support our local businesses and our local black owners in our community?
I would say, I use the reference, it takes a village to raise a child.
Sure.
Just like that is the same thing you can apply to a business. If you want your community to be economically fit, then you need to support the businesses in your community. Shopping at Walmart is not going to make sure that your tax dollars are effectively being used for your children's education. Mm-hmm. Shopping at Walmart is not going to make sure that your community is helping the most unprepared or the people, the neediest in that community have the resources they need. You need to support the mom and pop that is on the corner around from your house, making sure that they're getting your hard-earned dollars, because that money is going to go directly back into your community. So in our community, I feel like that's the deficit really, is that a lot of people from our communities, when they see, Walmart, get the best deals, you say the best dollar, they they'll catch a bus or drive a mile away when,
wasting $20 in gas, mind you.
Right, exactly. Instead of just,
going shopping at mom and pop.
Right, walking around the corner and spending that money. Another thing is that the majority of the businesses in our communities are not owned by us.
Exactly.
And that is an epidemic that, as a unit, we are really trying to make sure that we are solving and pushing forward with. In our communities, just like in anything, in any organization, any political machine, it needs to be representative of those people which it's supposed to represent. So our businesses and our community should be owned, ran, and being used by us.
I'm in agreement. My thing is, though, we blame for that. I mean, because in my old neighborhood, when I go in there, I'm not going to scream out any particular ethnic group, but we all know the stores, and we've all been in them, the gas stations, the grocery stores, the liquor store, the corner store, the fish market, the restaurants. Why is it that the majority of the neighborhood, the community, is our ethnic background, but then when we go into these businesses, it's another ethnic background? What is the problem, and what do we need to do to
I think it
resolve
starts
that
with
issue?
the education piece. You have a lot of people of African American descent who have these businesses or have had businesses, and they were doing well at one point, and then for whatever reason they take a toll for the worse, but it's because you're not educated on how to sustain your business. You have people with great business plans, they get the money to start their business, they start their business, they don't have anybody that's doing bookkeeping or, you know, an accountant, a budgeter, a financial advisor. They don't have any of these things. They're going, you know, they're going off, I guess you could say, impulse. Okay, I have this great idea, I'm gonna start this business, I have the money, I'm gonna do it, but you don't have the education that you need
To keep it going.
to keep it going. Because just like when we did have the plummet in the economy, people did not have plans to get out of that situation, or if the situation were to happen, they plummeted, their business ended up going out of business, and then they're in the situation that they're in now. But you know, that's not our fault that we're not educated, I guess you could say. But I think that before you take the step to starting your own business, you definitely need to get educated. That's not a small step. So I think that's another reason that, you know, that happens. Those other ethnicities, they come here for specific reasons. They're not, I mean, they're here, okay, you know, America's the land of the free, but they're here to make money and to take it back to their, so they educate themselves very well. Then they start their businesses and they grow their businesses and they sustain their businesses. But we don't take that approach, and that's why the small business sectors in those communities, I believe, are where they are now.
Wow, that's awesome. So guys, before I let you guys go, I'm gonna get you guys out of here, go get some Sunday night dinner and relax and kick back and enjoy yourselves. I want to thank you, because here at Live&Direct, this is what we're about. This is why this show is made. It's black directed, it's black catered, and it's a black host. And we are for our community, and it's nothing against any other ethnic background, it's nothing against any other race. This is just something we strongly believe in. So we are behind you guys 100%. And if there's at any given time that myself or my crew at Live&Direct can assist you guys and help you, we definitely going to do that.
Thank you.
So guys, thank you for coming out, and I appreciate it. And people out there, please, please, educate yourselves. Find out what you need to find out before you just jump into it, like Christina said here. Listen to what they're talking about. These are smart people. They know exactly what's going on. So guys, with that saying, before I get out of here, I want Christine, Noel, tell my viewers what they need to do to contribute to help you guys, and what contact they need as far as a phone number, an email, anything like that to assist you guys to help you, or if they have a business idea, how can they contact you to get educated before they plummet?
First thing I would say was visit our website. Our website is e3bdf.org. Visit that, get an understanding of who our partners are. You can contact us that way, and we will link you up with a mentor that will start you on the road to developing a business plan, and then we'll get you on the road to creating that business and being a benefit to your community. If you already have a business, same deal. Get in contact with us through our website, and we'll get you on the road to where you want to go, and getting an understanding of what needs to be done to be successful.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you, and I'm definitely going to have you coming back. This is Brian giving it to you live and direct. We'll see you guys in a bit.